You ever feel like your mind is a crowded room? One day you want to learn coding, then you want to start a YouTube channel. Then psychology grabs you, then music, then business, then you freeze. And the scariest part? You start thinking something is wrong with you, like you're undisciplined, like you can't commit, like you'll never be the kind of person who finishes anything. But what if the truth is the opposite? What if having too many interests isn't a flaw, but a personality pattern, and there's a simple way to use it without destroying your life? It's called the M-shaped trick, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. 1. Your brain isn't confused, it's scanning for identity. Most people think they have too many interests because they lack focus, but psychology says something deeper is happening. When you're curious about everything, it often means your brain is trying to answer one question: who am I really? This is identity exploration, and it's common in people high in openness to experience, one of the big 5 personality traits. High openness brains don't just want skills, they want meaning. So you try a new interest not because you're random, but because you're searching for a click moment, a feeling that says, this is me. The problem? Modern life turns exploration into endless scrolling. Every time you see someone winning at something, your brain gets triggered by social comparison theory. You start craving that life, that skill, that identity. So your interests multiply, but your self-trust shrinks because you don't stay long enough to feel progress. And without progress, your brain labels it as failure. 2. The real enemy isn't lack of discipline, it's decision fatigue. Here's what nobody tells you. When you have many interests, your brain is constantly making micro decisions. Should I learn this? Should I switch? Is this the right path? What if I'm wasting time? That's decision fatigue. And decision fatigue doesn't feel like tiredness. It feels like confusion, procrastination, and suddenly you don't feel like it. Because your prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for planning and self-control, gets overloaded. And then your brain chooses the easiest option, not the best option, the easiest. Which is usually start something new, because starting is exciting. Starting gives dopamine. Finishing requires patience, and patience doesn't feel glamorous. It feels quiet, it feels slow, it feels boring. So you keep restarting your life, and after a while, you don't just lose progress, you lose confidence. 3. The M-shaped trick. Stop choosing one path, build 2 peaks. Here's where the M shape comes in. Most people think life should look like a straight line. Pick one thing, commit forever, ignore everything else. That works for some personalities, but if you're multi-interested, forcing a straight line creates internal rebellion. So instead, you build an M, 2 main peaks, 1 bridge between them. That's it. Peak 1 is a stable core skill, something useful, something that can pay you or ground you. Peak 2 is a passion skill, something expressive, something that feels alive. And the middle bridge, though, that's where your unique identity forms. Because your brain doesn't want one interest, it wants a combination that feels like yours. Example, Peak 1 could be video editing. Peak 2 could be psychology. Bridge, making psychological videos that people can't stop watching. Or Peak 1 could be coding. Peak 2 could be art. Bridge, building beautiful apps. Or Peak 1 could be fitness. Peak 2 could be storytelling. Bridge, becoming the person who teaches transformation through narrative. Your brain calms down when it sees structure, because now you're not abandoning interests, you're organizing them. You're telling your mind, relax, we have a plan. 4. Why the M shape works. It turns distraction into integration. Here's the psychological shift. When you chase many interests with no system, it feels like chaos. But when you intentionally choose 2 peaks, something powerful happens. Your interests stop competing and start cooperating. This taps into something called self-concordance. That's when your goals match your internal values. And when goals feel self-concordant, motivation becomes natural, not forced. Because you're no longer trying to become someone else. You're building a life that actually fits your wiring. And this also kills perfectionism, because perfectionism often comes from fear. If I choose wrong, I'll waste my life. But the M-shaped trick removes that pressure. You're not betting everything on one identity. You're building a flexible system. And flexibility is emotional intelligence. It's knowing your mind will evolve and designing a life that can evolve with it. 5. The rule that makes it real. Time box the peaks. Now listen carefully. The M shape only works if you stop letting mood control your schedule. So here's the rule. Time box your peaks. Give peak 1 a fixed block. Give peak 2 a fixed block, even if it's small. For example, peak 1 45 minutes a day, peak 2 30 minutes a day, or peak 1 on weekdays, peak 2 on weekends. The goal isn't to do everything. The goal is to train your brain to trust you again. Because every time you keep a promise to yourself, your self-efficacy grows. That's the belief that I can follow through. And self-efficacy is one of the strongest predictors of long-term success. Not talent, not luck, self-efficacy. So, instead of bouncing between 12 interests and finishing none, you build 2 mountains, slowly, consistently. And one day you look back and realize you didn't lose your curiosity. You finally learned how to aim it. You weren't unfocused, you were unstructured. And structure is what turns a scattered mind into a powerful one. So, here's the takeaway. If you have too many interests, don't force yourself into a straight line. Build an M, 2 peaks, 1 bridge, and a schedule your brain can actually follow. If this hit you a little too close, you're not alone.